Inside Wisconsin top 5 list time. And in honor of this being our 26th episode, that puts a cap on our first season of Inside Wisconsin. J.A., I'm curious, for today's top 5 list, what are your top 5 moments from our first season on Inside Wisconsin?
Well, first off, I'm glad we didn't do our top 26 moments because people always do that. Hey, it's 1 year. Let's do our top 12 moments, one for each month. So I have 5. I don't know where you are on these. The first one, or actually the 5th one as we work our way up.
Yeah, you taught me that in episode 1.
Right. Is your episode with the weather guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that only because I got to sit back and just watch the show. I was off, which is great, or was in Tokyo or something like that.
Yeah, you were in Tokyo.
But I was able to sit and watch the show. Number 4 is the entire Andy North episode because he's one of my favorite people. He's terrific. As you find out, he's got a little influence within the basketball program and people that might be on this show. So there's just nothing about Andy North that's not great, and having him on early was fantastic.
There was a moment in that episode that was one of the most asshole puckering moments for me when I said that he's only had 2 hole-in-ones, and he goes, "Where'd you get that from?" I was like, "Uh-oh."
Right?
Did I piss him off?
So, if he'd won a 3rd U.S. Open, maybe then he'd have a 3rd hole-in-one.
Sure.
Number 3, the problem is I couldn't just pick one. So I'm hoping that we'll find just something. But the entire conversation, there were so many moments within the Gorman Thomas episode that I don't know whether it's Hank Aaron, whether it's talking about County Stadium, whether it's talking about hunting. There's a lot of Gorman Thomas there.
I had a few beers. How about that with Andre the Giant? He saw me. He says, "Oh, little man, come have one. I've been waiting."
And I'm a little sad that there could be so much more Gorman Thomas there that we can use.
We can actually have an episode 2 and talk more about Storm and Sauce.
Yeah, so Gorman Thomas was, like I said, where Andy North was the thing as a whole, Gorman was kind of as a whole, but just I'm not sure which one of those I could pick out of there that just tickled me pink. And as one of the guys that I grew up watching, one of my favorites, that was sort of my, like, okay, of all the guys, because Andy North is eye-opening, but I've gotten to know him as a friend.
Sure.
Where Gorman Thomas to me is I still have a little kind of 12-year-old starstruck Gorman Thomas. There he is.
That's one.
Yeah. Number 2, obviously, is when Brian Anderson just decided on the show to announce that he's going to retain and stay with the Brewers.
I never will leave the Brewers, though, as long as they'll have me. Matter of fact, breaking news, I just signed a multi-year extension with the Brewers to stay here. I'm going to have to do fewer games, but I don't want to leave. And as long as they'll have me, I'll stay a part of it.
Yeah, big moment for us. Huge.
Yeah, I'm down with that. So, and then BA was he's funny guy, great storyteller, because that's what he does. That's what baseball is. It's 3 hours of telling a story. And so him just going, well, I guess I can say it here. I've just re-signed with the Brewers. Little limited role, but I'm glad to hear. So I have that as one of the top moments on the show.
I probably just realized what your top moment is going to be.
Number 1 is the first show and having Barry Alvarez on. He was fantastic. That he discussed his retirement and his kind of plans just before was amazing. But the fact that he and I agree on the placement of Joe Thomas on the all-time great Badger list under him is
Joe Thomas is my number 5.
Is it possible to name 4 players that might have been better than Joe Thomas?
No.
Matt, name 2 players in Wisconsin since you've been there that are better than Joe Thomas.
Can't.
Speaking of good guys, can you name 2 players better than Joe Thomas?
He could arguably the best lineman that's come through here.
Listen, I didn't need the validation of Barry Alvarez to know where Joe Thomas was. I'm pretty sure I was right and you were wrong.
And you've asked every single
Barry
guest
Alvarez on there, and that now we have sort of a running gag. I'm all in. So my top moment, the appearance, the first show of Barry Alvarez, and the fact that Joe Thomas is indeed not the 5th greatest Badger of all time under his watch, is the gift that keeps on giving.
Does it now?
I don't know when this show's going to end, but when it does, those will be my last words. I already know how we're getting off.
Joe Thomas is number 1. Got it. Got the memo.
There you go.
Shut up and sit down.